Okay. All right, let's do this. All right, y'all. Welcome back. I'm King Crawley, and
Love Dr. 369.
and this is
Sex
Sex is
is
a
a
Weapon.
weapon.
All right, welcome back, y'all. Today we're gonna be doing something a little different. I know we usually come to you talking about more specifically just things pertaining to sex, but today we're going to be delving into something a little different, different element of relationships. We're going to be speaking about domestic abuse, and particularly more so the physical and the emotional side of it. I have a definition here for domestic violence. It says domestic violence refers to violent behavior between current or former intimate partners, typically where one partner tries to exert power and control over the other, usually through fear. It can include physical, sexual, emotional, social, verbal, spiritual, and economic abuse. Um, then I'm gonna define physical abuse first. It says physical abuse is it's a little more easily defined and recognized. It's when someone does physical harm to another on purpose. Okay, I love doctor. We're gonna get into it. Okay. Now there are more than I named several, but today we're going to kind of be tackling more so the physical and the emotional, mental part of abuse and relationships. You yourself said you have experienced a little of both, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's get into it. Um, how early did you see signs in a relationship that turned out to be abusive? What things attracted you to the person, and how early did you see signs, and what
Okay.
signs did you
So,
ignore?
how early did I see signs? Let's go back because I had a few, maybe I want to say two or three relationships that was domestic violence. And to go back to my first one, I'd say the earliest that I've seen it is when I guess he felt comfortable. Um, Because at first, they say it's three steps to this whole domestic violence thing. The first one is to seduce and to charm you. And the second one is to, stop and isolate you, control you. And then, and there comes the abuse. That's number three is the abuse. So I say once he felt comfortable with that, I was comfortable within the relationship. And a lot of men they they prey on, and when I say prey, it's not pray, it's prey. A lot of men they prey on the women that don't necessarily have that support, um like coming from the home, you could say, starting off, so that it's more so of like I'm super save a hoe, like you need me type of thing. Men like to feel like they're in power, you know, and those are the narcissist men. Um, but out to what attracted me to this person or these different people, because like I said, it was I did have multiple, was charm. You know what I'm saying? Like I like dudes that do stuff different. I don't like, you know what I'm saying?
What do you
Dudes
mean?
that are the same, if that
What
makes
do
sense.
what do you mean by that? What do you mean by different?
Um, when I say different, like you have to do something that nobody ever did to really get me. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I like, my guy, because at the end of the day, I've always like been catered to or cherished or whatever the case may be. Um, and then like later on, I remember one relationship is because he had drugs involved. Um, it was New Year's and he wanted to turn up, whatever, whatever. But I remember before the turn up of New Year's that previously he had told me about demons that he had. You know what I'm saying? See, I wasn't no boring girlfriend. I'm still not no boring girlfriend if I did have a man. So I'll let you do your thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, you my child, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna make sure you good, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day. But, yeah, and a part of me just wanted to be there for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess I felt like that they needed me to heal them. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so what made you feel like that was your purpose?
I guess how the energy, like how they carried it. You know what I mean? Like
But if you
now,
already, but I'm
huh?
saying, okay, so those things you didn't recognize them as red flags at the time.
I was young. It's been a long time since I've been in a domestic violence relationship, and I was
Yeah,
very young. I was very
yeah,
young
and
at the
and
time.
see, is somebody young there that might tune in and
Hmm.
hear this and need to understand that, okay, yeah, you didn't see the red flags at that age, but these are some of the red flags. These are
Hmm.
some of the things that looking back, you'd have been like, no, I need to get away. I don't need the help. They need help, but not the type of
Yeah.
help that I can provide them, you
Well,
know.
I couldn't provide it at that time because I didn't even have the knowledge of it. Like I said, they thought that I was supposed to heal them instead of them healing themselves. Me being or identifying the healer in me can allow me to help other people tap into their healing mechanism within themselves. And a lot of times it's my job to leave them. I just plant the seed and leave them to grow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you come back and water them from time to time, but you don't stare at it. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna make it grow no
Right,
faster.
right.
And a lot of times we're used, by the divine to just be there to be able to plant that seed or whatever the case may be, even if we get hurt because we didn't listen to the red flags. Like the red flags are all around you. Um, I remember, and this wasn't a domestic violence relationship, but previously it was a situation, and it was me. You know what I'm saying? I did hear the music in the background. You know what I'm saying? The music was basically telling it all, telling me everything that I needed, but I was not paying attention. I was paying attention, but I was just like, you know what I'm saying? Look, I'm young, you know what I'm saying, type shit. And I
Right.
don't want that to always be an excuse. Just like you said, it's some young that is gonna turn in. I said turn
Right.
in 2 men. And I don't want that to necessarily be an excuse. But, it still was the fact that I was just not listening. And that's a lot of our time, a lot of the times that we wind up in these situations is because we don't listen. We probably see the signs, like say for instance their mother or their father was in domestic violence. They had domestic violence within them homes, or you may see their family members having domestic violence and thinking it's cute or whatever, and then this is the pattern that you wind up in. You know what I'm saying? So then that's a red flag already. How, not just knowing that your mom dealt with domestic violence or your father dealt with domestic violence, but how are you healing from this? Some people, they don't even just identify how they're healing from it. They just continue the pattern. You know what I mean?
Okay, so that's a note right there that in going into relationships, you do need to know what type of background a person is coming from. So you'll know so you'll know what type of issues or what type of perspective they're coming from with even trying to say they love you. If they've
Mm-hmm.
never, like you say, if they've come from a situation where their parents have been abusive or their grandparents or whoever was around them, and that's
Mm-hmm.
all they really saw, that's the lens and the filter of which they process love through.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes we make the mistake, because I've done it too, of trying to fix all of that baggage,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it takes a little more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you can go back to what you were saying. I just want to interject right there.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's right. What did Erica Badu say? Bag lady, you gon' hurt your back. carrying all
Yeah.
them bags like that,
All in the
right?
bag. Yeah.
So like you said, and a lot of times that even shows and reflects on how we love ourselves at the end of the day. And a lot of times we sit here and we're saying we want to be loyal to this person. We going through all of this stuff thinking that this is what it takes to be loyal. I have to get
Right.
my ass beat. I gotta beat ass. I gotta, you know what I'm saying, be toxic. I gotta, do all this, that, and the third. And then
And that's crazy because it absolutely doesn't take that, but it seems like everybody believes that.
Mhm.
Everybody thinks it takes such a huge struggle and tussle to find this love, that thing that we're looking for. But according to everything, even religious books, non-religious books, love isn't even supposed to be that. Love is supposed to be kind.
Mhm.
But the way we go about finding it is through, a lot of times, through violence. But go ahead.
Mhm. Well, because we wasn't taught to love. Even in TV shows, you see hate. You see what I'm saying? Even in the economy, the government, you see hate. The police brutality, you see hate. Racism, you see hate. This is all we see is hate and aggression. So people really don't know how to love, and what a lot of people need to understand is that you cannot rebuild without that love. You cannot rebuild, whether it's love for other people, love for yourself, because at the end of the day, you receive a lot of divine blessings or bliss or whatever from the universe when you give and you actually show compassion. Because a lot of times the reason why I stayed was because I really love this person, and they'll probably say something to make me stay, to play on my emotions. Like, I feel guilty if I leave them. Like, if something was to happen, it'll be my fault. You see what I'm saying? And that's that love and loyalty. What about me? You see what I'm saying? And not trying to make it self-based or nothing, but you always have to come back to yourself, because you cannot love anyone truly or be loyal to anyone unless you love and be loyal to yourself.
Right, right. And that's very good. But like you said, a lot of times we're not taught that, and we're not taught that it starts with us first.
Mm-hmm.
You know. I want to jump into some things and intermingle it in the conversation that we're already having. A few of the red flags that I happen to take notes on, and like I said, we can let the conversation happen how it happens. Um, One of the first things I put down was, as a red flag, something to pay attention to, was extreme possessiveness. You
Yeah.
know, an example is like that when a partner wants to police every connection you have, outside of themselves. For instance, if they want to pull you away from your family, they want to tell you, you don't need to be with this friend, you don't need to talk to this person, and things of that nature, pretty much to pull you away from everything so that they can now control your environment. That's a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it starts subtly, but it's still a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you have any thoughts on that?
Oh, absolutely. And that's just like I was saying, when dudes prey on women that don't necessarily have support in their homes and stuff, they'll like isolate you. You know what I'm saying? They'll want to, because they feel like, oh, she's already isolated or whatever the case may be, out of this person, their family or whatever. Like, you ain't got friends or whatever that consider you family. But we're talking about blood wise, that they'll want to like isolate you and just try to, I don't know, I guess play puppet master. You could kind of say that, you know what I'm saying? Just get in your head. It's all a mind thing. It's really mind over matter. And when people understand that, I think, because at one point, I didn't necessarily know that. I felt like I was more book smart. I had the street smarts too. However, it was like I had to experience more in order to actually be able to sit up here and tell people, yeah, you know what I'm saying? They will isolate you. You know what I'm saying? They will do this, that, and the third. But isolation is a big thing. And being possessive, that's that attachment. Like, because love is an attachment. You know what I'm saying? Love is really an attachment. That's why I said people can love you so much that they really hate you. You see, like, if you really love me, you're going to allow me to grow. You're going to
Right.
allow me to grow. You're not
Right.
gonna just sit there and police everything. You got to be able to trust me. Trust comes with love. You can't love somebody without trusting them. And if you got to do all that, you don't need to be in a relationship. Period.
Right. Like that's an absence of love. Like if you're controlling and doing all of those things, that's an absence of love within yourself, first of all. So you can't love me,
Hmm.
you know. But back to you, go ahead.
Um, and I'm just, what was I going with that? It's just I can go so many places with this domestic violence situation because a lot of women and a lot of men, they suffer in silence, and it's kind of harder to come up with questions for the men because it's like 1 in 4 men have been physically abused by an intimate partner, and you know, I was wondering because you said you dealt with some abuse too, because it happens.
Yeah.
Um, like, did you ever decide to talk about it with anybody?
Uh well, on a professional side, no. There are some along the way that have known quite a bit about what I went through, but I've never talked to anyone as a matter of processing it as emotional abuse. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I've talked about different situations and things that happen. Like I was saying earlier, it wasn't until after I was out of it that I realized, man, oh, this is what abuse is. It wasn't until my mind got
Mm-hmm.
clear from it that I
Yeah.
realized I was that, because a lot of times we hear about domestic violence and abuse and we just think physical. We don't consider the psychological and emotional part because that's the hardest part to see. That's how you can see these couples that be together for years and years and think they're happy because on the outside it looks beautiful. The
Mm-hmm.
whole time they going through hell for years, because that's the part that's hard to spot. It's easy to hide. So I talked to some, but I haven't processed it as emotional abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, how do you think that yours started off? Have you ever took the moment to like reflect on it? Like, how do you think now? Now, if you think back, how do you think it started off?
Mm. You mean with well, it started off with me. I could point to a particular relationship or whatever, but ultimately it started with me
Mm-hmm.
because if I stayed and allowed certain things, at least in my opinion or my observation, there was something I felt that I was lacking that I had to get from this person or from these situations, or that I deserved to be treated a certain way because of something that I perceived to be wrong with me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I got into these situations, first of all, um, you know, strictly, well, I ain't gonna say strictly on the physical, but that would be the leading thing that would get me into it. A lot of times they'd be very charismatic people, but they'll be a little on the borderline of the quote unquote crazy, you know, speak their mind loud, say what they gonna say, what's on their mind, whatever, whatever. Um, Sometimes be ready for that action. And for some reason that attracted me true over the years, and I'm sure everybody you probably remember too, but especially somebody my age, BBD song Poison, that one line, you can't trust a big
Yeah.
button to smile. That's like one of the realest lines ever because that would be my kryptonite. That big butt and that smile. Whole time it was poison.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, but it started with me.
Mm-hmm.
It started with me not knowing me. Simple as that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
started with me not knowing me. And it's not so much that I even came from a bad background because I didn't. I came from a decent home,
Mm-hmm.
But still, when certain things aren't explained to you,
Mm-hmm.
or it's assumed that you know certain things, you still can miss out. You know. Um. So yeah, if you got another question, go ahead.
Yeah, I resonate with that. You know, it all necessary. It really all boils down to us, because a lot of times we can say we're being manipulated by other people, but we're manipulating ourselves because we don't really necessarily know. So we have to learn. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of times, you know, we are going through this, and we really don't even know. Like I told you, like I didn't even know at the time. You know what I'm saying? I didn't necessarily know, but they actually have programs, which I have talked to people, and they actually have programs um, that help with domestic violence. However, I feel like when I started really tapping into like the tantric healing, I faced it more deeper, because outside of me actually experiencing it myself and noticing that their mothers and fathers may have done it as well, I realized, and I had talked to my mom, that she had experienced domestic violence. So it's like some ancestral trauma type stuff. So then you have to step back and you got to be like, okay, let's do some shadow work. Let's do some healing, you know? So, I don't know. I just sat back and, like I said, I've been doing my healing work, and like I said, it's been a long time since I've been in a domestic violence relationship. And cause it's now like I can identify the red flags, because controlling is definitely one. That possessiveness, that attachment, that is definitely one. And also, I just don't necessarily like when, like, that lying right there, like, if you feel like you got a lot of me, and I know that everybody lies, you know what I'm saying? I get it. You know, I get it. But at the same time, if you feel like you got a lot of me, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no need for us to even,
It's
what are
crazy
we
you said,
building?
because that's definitely one of the notes I had. Like if simple as that, if you have to lie, like it's no need for us to continue. It's certain
Mm-hmm.
things you possibly could work through, but if you come out the gate lying about just the most basic of things, what are we going to talk about? Where's there going to be any trust if out of the gate you're lying?
Mm-hmm. And look, my dumb self, like, I was young, and I got married young and stuff. My ex-husband lied to me about his age. I didn't even think of this right here. But as you can see, he's an ex-husband now. So it's like, there we go, right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a red flag. Like, this ain't gonna work out in the long run. Y'all might love each other and all this other stuff, because like we did, you know what I mean? But it just didn't work out. It didn't work out because it wound up, you know, it just wound up a lot, yo. It was so much. I can really go deep into that, like, it was very toxic, very, very toxic. And domestic violence was crazy. He was wild. Like, it's a lot of stuff that he had to heal from, you know what I'm saying? Like, this insecurities. And I feel like that rubbed off on me in the long run, insecurities, because he was insecure, and certain seeds that was planted in his head made him insecure. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know. I feel like being young, we have, I don't know. I feel like being young, we have room to necessarily make mistakes so that we can grow into the better version of ourselves, or whatever the case may be. But I don't feel like nobody should have to go through what I went through with that man. You know what I'm saying? And I've actually heard patterns even from after me of him and other girls and stuff like that. But that's neither here nor there. That's not my story to tell. But at the end of the day, it's like,
Hey, well, look,
what made you leave when you
listen,
experienced yours? Like,
check it out. What are some of the things that happen? If you want to speak on that,
some of the things that happened, it's all started off mentally, you know. Um, it all started off mentally. Even the abuse started off mentally, for him to tell me that, I was basically worthless, or whatever the case may be. I really feel like he was using me for money when I look back, you know, because
Okay.
I was really the breadwinner.
At what point did he tell you that? Was it earlier on, or how was
Oh,
that?
that was after we was married, and he done moved me to. We had a place by the beach
So
and stuff like that.
how early did you see signs, red flags though?
Before we got married. Before we got married, you know, because I used to fight back though. I'm not no woman that's just gonna get her ass beat, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I just, you know, it made me toxic. Just being with him, it made me toxic. So, you know, when I sat back and I started healing off of it, I was like, damn, I'm insecure. You know, somebody actually told me, it was a Rhonda the Thought Healer. She told me she asked me a question, and it actually revealed that I was insecure. You know what I'm saying? I didn't necessarily sit back. I was still young at the time when I first met Miss Rhonda Leviston. Dang, I be feeling old talking about these old times. Um, yeah, so she asked me a question. She said, let me ask you a question. You think you the shit? And I'm like, oh, shit, I'm high. You know what I mean? And she was like, wrong answer. You know what I'm saying? And then she was basically revealed like I'm insecure. Cause everybody, if I ask you, do you think you the shit? You supposed like, you damn right, I'm the shit, you know? Because a lot of people, they don't think that, they'll try to make you think that. You know what I'm saying? And I had to sit back and build myself up from him tearing me down. Like I didn't wind up cutting him before. So yeah, I became violent too, you know, like I said, but it wasn't like I sit here and start all this stuff. Like I remember one time a neighbor walked past, and this is when we was out in our own place. Our neighbor walked past. I'm in the house. He left the door wide open. Okay. He left the door wide open. It's hot as hell. I'm in the house cooking with my little shorts on and stuff. And the neighbor double took, like, because, you know, I'm not no ugly girl or nothing like that, but I wasn't paying no damn attention to that damn neighbor. You know what I'm saying? I got a whole husband right here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in there cooking, and he come in there and attack me because the neighbor was looking at me. You know what I'm saying? It was shit like that, you know? And
What made you stay with him after he would do something like that?
I feel like a part of me needed him at the time. Like I felt like that at the time.
But what?
Because
what,
I didn't necessarily have no support.
Okay.
You know, a lot of times, like even now, just doing what I do, the people that you think will support you don't support you. Be strangers that support you. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And even after I did wind up leaving him for good, the support that I thought that I had, it wasn't really support. They actually talked about me. So that, and I think a lot of people, when it comes to healing, this is why they really kind of guard it, you know what I'm saying, on reaching out, because they may feel like that person really don't have good intentions or whatever. Maybe they lack the good intentions within their own inner being that makes them actually think that looking at somebody else. But at the end of the day, you know, it's more so the trust. The trust is gone. And a lot of us, that's what we struggle from. And I had struggled from just even trusting myself for a long time, which I'm just really getting in tune, really, you know, without looking externally for the external validations. Like I don't necessarily need a ton of reviews, but I do have them. You know what I'm saying? And at that time that I was getting them reviews, I needed that. You know what I'm saying? Them people to be like, oh yeah, Mo, you really doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? It helped me build just inside, even believing in myself again, because just being in a relationships that's toxic, and just even outside of my ex-husband's relationship, when I was with him, I still had wound up in another domestic violence relationship where the guy actually wound up dead, you know. So it really, yeah.
You can't just skip past something like that and just say he ended up dead and just keep going. What happened?
Because I don't really like talking about
it. You brought it up.
It really, like, that really took a toll on me, and just even my life, you know. Like And that's why I really wanted to be an advocate for domestic violence, because that was like, when I be in these deep ass relationships, like these niggas be like my best friend type shit. And then for them like just be to turn on a nigga, you know what I'm saying, or a woman, the woman that they love, you know what I'm saying? It kind of, and it puts you in a bad situation. Like it wasn't necessarily, I even had time to even try to plot on like I'm going to do this or this, that, and the third. It's more so of you're at the time that you have to defend yourself now, so you won't die. You know what I'm saying? Because niggas get dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Niggas are dangerous. And some of these men, like I said, we think we know, but we don't really know. Like, not saying that, you know, you don't know who your person is or whatever, like how dangerous they could get, but because you just wouldn't think that they'll turn on you because y'all supposed to love each other. You know what I'm saying? So then when they do it and then you got to defend yourself, now you looking like you the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a lot. Like, it's just a lot. That situation there changed my whole life.
But it still all ties back into either not knowing the red flags or seeing them and ignoring them. Because a lot of times abuse doesn't just come out the blue.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times there are things in place or things that happen along the way that we let slide, and it builds up to become this big blow up. But if we look back, it was signs there. Okay, like another note that I have here is, I say, you familiar with the term gaslighting?
Yes, I am familiar with the term gaslighting.
Okay. Yeah, you know, some people are good at that. You know, they can try to make you think that the way you're thinking is so far off that you actually begin to doubt, you know, your own sense of reality and your own perception, because they're so good at making you think that, hey, maybe I am wrong. The whole time you're not. They're just so good at manipulation and things of that nature that once a person has you to a certain place, because it has different levels, once they've pulled you away from everybody and pretty much made it so you pretty much depend on them, you kind of, it's almost like the Stockholm syndrome, where you know that the person I'm with is bad for me, but somehow I understand, you know, which is the crazy part. I know they're bad for me, but I somehow understand their plight, and it's my job to help them, even though helping them hurts me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get into more of that emotional abuse, though. We spoke about the more the physical part, but the emotional part is the part that's more, you know, hard to detect. You know what I'm saying? Um, it can include a lot of different things. Even we just spoke about manipulation. That ties into emotional abuse, verbal aggression, humiliation. Anytime a person just sets out to make you feel bad about who you are, like nobody has a right to do that. Nobody has a right to say because you have a certain type of personality that you're wrong for being who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But that ties into that emotional abuse. People can spot a manipulator and abuser spots the weaknesses or the vulnerabilities in each person and a partner, and they use those negative qualities to get you to mold into whatever they want you to be. And whenever you're outside of that, they try to make you feel bad for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, you got anything on that?
Yeah, I definitely do. Because like I said, like looking back when I was with my ex-husband, I felt like he wanted me to dress like a nun. Even when it was hot as hell outside, he didn't want me to wear shorts and all this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy. I guess, you know, like I said, insecurity. It all starts with the mind, and the heart chakra, which is the fourth chakra, is your heart. which is air. And a lot of people don't know that. You'll think it's water. You'll probably think it's a feminine aspect, but it's very masculine. Air is a masculine energy, and air has everything to do with communication, mental, you know what I'm saying, even traveling and so on and so forth. But it all starts with the mind. You can't feel it unless you think it first. So some people, they'll even try to do some shit like go on your phone, or you're going, go on they'll be watching you for a long ass time. You'll never know while he's watching you. You know what I'm saying? They'll be watching you.
That's
and
true.
Just so they can know how to approach you, instead of just coming.
That's predatory behavior right there. That's what predators
Mm-hmm.
do. That's what animals in the wild do. They sit back and
Mm-hmm.
stalk their prey to find that right moment to catch you at that weak moment. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
Yeah. So with that being said, it's just like really, really watch what you're doing with your energy, because it can come in any type of way or form or force. It does not necessarily have to come through a partner. It can still come through even like a friend that's trying to emotionally manipulate you because they're not where they think that you are in their head. Maybe you're not even where you want to be at, but they still think so. Now they feel some type of way, but ain't nobody gonna admit when they jealous, because then that makes them look this big. Ain't nobody
Right.
gonna sit there and be like, hey, I'm jealous of you, I'm envious of you, I want what you have. Like, who
Right.
have you ever, has anybody ever done that for you?
That's a fact. Nah, you're right. I agree with that. I agree.
So yeah, it can definitely even be friends, so that's why you got to be careful of these people that you call friends and family, and not trying to tell everybody to just be paranoid and shit, but just be
No,
able
but
to.
see, here's the thing. There are no automatic labels. There shouldn't be
Mhm.
automatic labels. Sometimes we think just because I grew up with a person for a certain amount of years, or just because somebody's related to me by blood or marriage or whatever, that I'm automatically obligated to them. No, I choose and base that on how we reciprocate respect and loyalty and things of that nature. So you don't just get to be called a friend or family just
Mhm.
because. But I think nobody ever tells us that, or we don't often realize we got that option. You don't get to just be called a friend or considered a family just because. But go ahead,
Mhm.
continue.
Yeah, I feel like nowadays people gotta earn it. Like I start you off with an A. I don't necessarily go be like, oh, this motherfucker crazy. But like I heard from an OG. Matter of fact, my sister told me that she heard this from an OG. She said that you'll be able to identify anything within your partner or whoever you dealing with within 3 months of knowing them. 3 months, whether it's good or bad. So this is why when you asked me, I had to take a step back. I was like, wait, let's start. Our first bad relationship as far as domestic violence. You know what I'm saying? And some men, they'll go and they'll take your stuff and cause you to act the ass like, look, this is valuable to me. They'll take some shit that's valuable to you. Like it's some shit like, or women, they'll do that and they'll start to pick. You know what I'm saying? So it's all in picking your battles, even like if you feel like dealing with this energy, whether it's friends, boyfriends, like it's okay to do stuff by yourself. You don't need people necessarily. Well, we all need each other. However, it's like you don't necessarily possessively need like, oh, I need you to do this with me. I need you, to validate me, make me feel. You got to find that fulfillment within your own inner self.
And I agree with you on that. I think we a lot of times have been taught this ownership aspect of relationships and all things, even down to our children. I want to say I want to say the late Dick Gregory said, our children came through us, not to us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're here to guide them, but we're not here to obligate them to our dreams or our vision of their life. We're here to give them the tools and the guidance, but they're here on their own journey just like we are.
Yeah.
You know, even at their young age, regardless to what age they're at, just like the same way we're trying to work our way through this journey, they
Yeah.
are too. The moment they're
Mhm.
born, they start their journey. And a lot of times, I don't think we realize that even with, like you say, friendships or whatever, we try to put too much ownership on it. That's mine. That's mine. No, we're here on a journey together. I don't own you along this journey.
Oh my God. I remember my ex-husband saying that shit. I own you. I was like, what the fuck? Look,
Wow.
I was like, yo, niggas is wilding. Like I never forget it. And when somebody say some shit like that, it just give me a flashback. I'll be like, and I think that's what play a part of me not minding being single. Now, like I just feel like I'm free. Like ain't nobody trying to own me and it's not necessarily like I don't want to be with a masculine energy or whatever like that. I'm not trying to shade love or nothing like that. It's just that I don't yearn it like I have to have it. I just know that it's going to come when it's going to come, and it's going to come the right way, because now I'm able to put boundaries up. At that age, I was able to be used whatever, because apparently I was using myself and not in the best of ways, because I didn't know no better. And it wasn't necessarily saying I was out there, nothing like that. But, you know, I was a little thug, you know, they used to call me Little Thug Mrs. I used to have a whole bunch of different nicknames. So it wasn't necessarily men based. It was just more so I was really like on my grind, but I guess not for the right things. I didn't really have no real goals, but just get money. You know what I'm saying? And then it took me to have partner. So I feel like everything happened the way it's supposed to be, because of just, we all, like you said, we all on our own journey. You know what I'm saying, in life. Who knows what put me where I was at when I was at it, and how I was at that time. You know what I'm saying? Or either the next person, you know. So it's all off of just being able, because other people, they got their own red flags they can be able to identify off dick. Like I could say sex. If a nigga, if all he talk about is sex, you a semen demon. Period. That's it. Just because I'm
And
the love
look,
doctor, huh?
and I want to jump into that. You brought up, you know, like you say, semen demons or whatever. I think, and you might have the right terminology, but sex magic or whatever sometimes keeps a person tied to an abuser. Because, okay, I'll speak in my situations. It seems like the worst relationships had the best sex.
Yeah, semen demon. Semen demon. You know, and not necessarily okay, because I remember in one of our first started learning this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes your body needs to release. You know, as long as it's in the right, you know, way or whatever, and if you want to use it to manifest or whatever the case may be, because manifestation is just really thinking positively and pouring energy into, you know, especially if you ejaculate energy, you know what I'm saying, the correct way type shit. Like, you know, you can do that, but it's really, you really want to harness this energy the best way that you can. But a lot of times we do wind up with these warlocks or these incubus, succubus, in a lot of these creatures that are actually masks. You don't necessarily know what you're dealing with until you're dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes you can call it before you see it, but then it's still up to you whether you're going to deal with it or test the waters or not. And a lot of people like to test the waters, you know, and a lot of times it's based off of the programming. Like you said, don't trust the big button to smile. You know, hell, Kaya said, don't trust no nigga, no, you can't trust no, yeah. So we all, you know, we all had, that's war. That's war. We all have been programmed to go against each other. You see what I'm saying? Like, we can't trust these niggas, we can't trust these bitches. And that's why can't nobody really find true love, because we sitting here thinking that, oh, we can't let one give one up on us, because I don't know what you heard about me.
And you know
But if you
what?
can't get a dollar out of me, hey.
That's sad. It's actually a shame that they've put us against each other. It bothers me when I hear women have to say, fuck these niggas or blah blah blah. Because I'm like, it shouldn't have to be that way. Same thing when niggas, bitches ain't shit, whatever, however they phrase it. It shouldn't have to be that way because too often each side applies that in general instead of just to the specific person or persons they're talking about. They kind of say it as a blanket statement. So like you said, it makes it hard for us to really date each other because we already going into it looking like niggas ain't shit, bitches ain't shit. That's it's unfortunate. It's real unfortunate. It's and actually at this age, it's like, man, there's so many people that have been through trauma at this point.
Yeah.
That unresolved, undealt with trauma, because we've all gone through things, but some haven't even begun any type of process of healing that. So it's almost scary to get out there because you don't know what type of things you're stepping up against. Can't trust a big button to smile.
Yeah. And
hey, look, let me flip it around because men go through it too, right? Did you have more questions? Because we're speaking about, from a man to a woman. Let's talk about, us men, we go through it more so on the emotional side because a lot of times physically, we're bigger, we're stronger a lot of times. So ours comes more subtly and over time, a lot of times, but it does affect us.
I feel like the man definitely goes through it like harder only because y'all the men, y'all not supposed to, I guess, y'all don't, now I'm not gonna say y'all not supposed to. Y'all don't feel like y'all
we're told things like take it like a man, suck it up.
Yeah, like y'all don't feel like y'all should show emotion.
Don't show emotions. Be tough.
That's basically what it is. Right. Yeah, not to show emotion. So when y'all do show emotion and the girl get over on you, it's like, I cannot believe, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, and then they go through actually a longer period of time of not trusting people than women. I just feel like just observing, because a woman, she'll be like, okay, I'm ready to try this again. Let's go burn some calories. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, and then she'll be like, oh, nah, or whatever. Then she might find somebody that might charm her panties off and she might think it's, you know what I'm saying? But a man, it'll be hard. I don't give a fuck how cute you is or whatever. He's still going to have to investigate, more so, than just a woman. I feel like y'all go through it. And then men, y'all get torn down, even though the women, we do too. Y'all get torn down a lot more heavier because it's seen that y'all supposed to protect the woman. So y'all have already been attacked by not just police brutality, the economy, the government, and all that. You probably being attacked by the people that you love the most. You know what I mean? And it's actually hard to find that peace, so, and it really hurts when you go home and you can't get no peace. And
that's true. You got some questions or some notes or something? Get into that.
So my questions are, in a relationship, would you rather feel respected or cherished?
Respected. Respect all day.
Respected. Okay. Yeah. So in that question, it's more so of that's a masculine energy. So you should attract more of a feminine energy. A feminine energy would rather be cherished. That'll help you bring that balance mechanism out as far as a healthy relationship. Like a lot of times men wind up, because they have a lot of masculine energy, they still wind up attracting that woman that has that masculine energy. You know, like you said, you liked it that feisty, you know what I'm saying, type of girl
Yeah.
type shit. So yeah, that's like, and you're not necessarily knowing. If you would have asked her that question and she said respect, that'd mean that she has more of a masculine energy versus a feminine energy. You know,
Okay.
cherish is more so of a feminine energy, you know, and that's basically kind of the, well, I'm not even gonna say kind of, that's the energy that you would need in order to balance out that divineness, you know what I'm saying? Because you have to have that balance. You know, you can't have no girl that want to be respected too, because she gonna challenge you. Not necessarily saying that women don't want to be respected. You don't need to be respected. However, with cherished, when you're being cherished, you're being respected. You're being nourished. It's just the wordplay. It's just the wordplay. When you go respect, you can think of more of like I'm kind of demanding respect. Like I want that respect. You can't, you know what I'm saying? And respect is different to everybody. Some people think certain ways is disrespecting them, you know, it's different. But when you go into the cherish, that's not saying that you don't respect that person. You know what I'm saying? It's just more so of
Right.
a nurturing, you know what I'm saying, type of aspect. That's all that is.
Right. Right.
So that's how you'll be able to identify. It's like a question that you could just ask out of the blue. Somebody, like, just say for instance you're dating 21 questions or something like that. You got some questions you want to ask. You know, you could ask that question so you can be able to identify what type of energy, and just ask yourself that first so you can identify what type of energy that you're dealing with on your own, so you can identify what type of energy you're dealing with when you're dating or whatever the case may be. That next person, they may not know this question. You know what I'm saying? They may not know what to look for in that question. They probably was like, what's she asking them that for? When I first started, before I explained it. But, you know, once I explained it, then boom,
Right. It made sense.
boom,
It
like an
makes sense.
808.
Right. Right.
So, did you feel like less of a man if you didn't hit back?
Uh, Not really. No, because I didn't come from that, and just knowing I was physically stronger in that situation,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like I needed to prove my physical dominance. You know, I didn't have to prove my point that way. So, no, was I frustrated because I couldn't or I didn't? Yeah, but I didn't feel it was. I didn't feel like it was an attack of my manhood because I didn't hit
Mm-hmm.
back. Because I didn't necessarily judge my manhood based on just my physicality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I yeah, yeah. Not being able to just in general not being able to hit back because it's an instinct to hit back. That was
Mm-hmm.
the frustrating part. But like you say, realizing, well, this is a woman in front of me and she really didn't hurt you. So for you to hit her back would be unfair. Because even though she did hit you, it, it didn't hurt you. So you would be trying to prove it would just be your ego striking back if you hit her at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be because she harmed you in such a way or the principle of it. You know, it couldn't just be that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that men should think um more so. I mean, I'm not telling men how to think or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, you don't want to see your mama going through no stuff like that. Why would you know what I'm saying? Why would you do this to another woman? I never really got that. Like, even you don't want to see your daughter going through that. Why would you do that to another woman? Whether it's your baby mother, your whoever it is, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
But
especially your daughter.
a lot of times that ties back into what they've seen already.
Mm-hmm.
Not every time because some do come from decent backgrounds and still become abusive, but a lot of times it comes from is easy to tell them that. Like a lot of times we can tell the abuser the right thing and it makes sense logically, but if all they've ever filtered that through is seeing my mama go through it or seeing my daddy do this or that, your words, yeah, they're right. They're not going to change that, you know.
Yeah. And a lot of people, they suffer in silence. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know who to trust, or they don't necessarily have nobody to necessarily talk to that they feel that won't judge them. That's the big thing. That's the big key. Because even the reason why men hurt so much is because they finally was vulnerable, and then they feel like they was taken advantage of. Even the woman, you know what I'm saying? However, it's just that you could always, that's kind of why I got into doing readings and stuff like that, because people used to gravitate to me. Even when I worked at Family Dollar in Richmond, they used to gravitate to me and just talk to me. And, so I was like, if I already do this, then, I wind up later on down the line doing readings and stuff like that, and working on healing myself, because I didn't want my son to think that it's not okay for it to be a man and a woman happy together, because he's not used to seeing that. So
Right.
I actually had a conversation with him, because, I've been single for a while, and, he's getting older, and I was just like, hey, it's okay that if it's a man and a woman, together in a home, loving each other the correct way, it's okay. And he was like, really? You know what I'm saying? Like, he really didn't know, because that's something he's not used to. So at the end of the day, us being that example for our kids, and it's not necessarily being an example for another person, it's just for our kids. We have to be able to open up communication lines to help break them generational curses. Actually be able to identify and hold accountability of, just your choices in general. You know what I'm saying? Whether you knew the red flags, seen them, and you ignored them, or whatever the case may be, because they always there. It's just the tapping in is just a big thing. And even if you want it so bad, like a piece of candy, that shit gonna rot your teeth, but you want it so bad. So you're gonna keep eating that candy until that tooth start hurting. You know what I'm saying? And leave you out in the cold. And a lot of times that tooth start hurting when it's cold. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's just picking your battles, and practicing what you preach, and learning and earning.
Hey, well, look, let's get into how, excuse me. We discussed some of the red flags and things of that nature, and we could go on and on, because there's several more.
Mm-hmm.
How does one go about to begin to heal from, we kind of know how to heal from the physical, but how does one go about starting to heal from the emotional and psychological and mental abuse from a relationship, marriage, or whatever?
Well, the mental is all about learning yourself, learning how to come back to loving yourself, because a lot of times we forgot that within trying to love everybody else, and we tend to pour into other people, or over extend ourselves to other people. It becomes a pattern. So then you got to come back into loving yourself, and being able to just take a step back, and actually get that time with yourself, being and even finding somebody to talk to it about. And a lot of times your team ain't a whole bunch of people like they probably portray on social media or whatever. Like, you got a gang of people, because half of them damn people talking about the main person. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's only two people that you talk to, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna give you what you really need. Or sometimes
And
it might
look,
come.
I say this: it's okay to find help outside of your friend group.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay
If I
to,
was like,
whether it's different paths. You have counseling, therapy, you have services such as you have with the tantric
mm-hmm,
healing and things of that nature. It's okay not to, because here's my thing: I, I love my friends. I do whatever I can for my friends. But on some topics, me personally, even now, I'm not an expert at this. I'm just speaking from experience, observation, and my perspectives. So
mm-hmm,
some of the things they deal with, I'm not even really qualified to help them with because I don't know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to give them to help them. So sometimes it's unfair to constantly dump that on a friend that can't
Mm-hmm.
really help you other than saying they care about you. They wish they could help you. So sometimes it's okay to take that to someone that actually is um, skilled at doing that.
Mm-hmm. That's what I
But
was about to say.
you
Sometimes it can
go ahead.
come from a complete stranger. It don't necessarily have to be a friend because messages they come in all shape, form, forces. Whether you supposed to get it, you gonna get it. If you ain't supposed to get it, it's still gonna be given to you. If you ain't supposed to get it, you just ain't gonna get it. You have to learn from it. Period. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's all about, yes, being able to find somebody that you can trust to communicate with or even work with you on this level of your path of self-sovereignty and actually releasing, because a lot of times we're so used to trying to attach ourselves to people, places, and things that we forget to release. And the only way that you can levitate is to release, or the only way that you can go up is to release any baggage that's keeping you down. So it's better to find somebody that you can talk to, be able to relate, not necessarily trauma bonding or nothing like that, because a lot of times people go through the same things, but they haven't been working on how to heal this. You know what I'm saying? That's the only difference. They haven't been working on how to heal it. They just still going through it. So we're bonding and we're still in trauma.
And people need to realize too that when you keep attracting the same type of person, that might not be your type. That might be your trauma.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
know, a
And
lot of
you
time we
probably
say
still ain't
that's my
learned.
type. You know, we say that's my type. No, that's your trauma. You keep
Mm-hmm.
attracting this person because you haven't this type of person because you haven't dealt with things internally. So you
Mm-hmm.
keep attracting the crazy person or whatever it might be, whatever that particular it thing might be. You're not always attracting your type. You're attracting your trauma at times. But go ahead.
Yeah. Because a lot of times, like you said, a lot of times people haven't healed from it. People haven't
Right.
healed, they haven't taken steps. And it's not saying, oh, they're bad because they haven't taken the steps. A lot of people don't necessarily know how to take the steps. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I want to discuss. Like, what are some of those steps? Like, even within what you do, how do you help people, without giving everything away? How do you help people start to repair their mind going forward or whatever needs to be repaired going forward from that?
Well,
If they've been in a situation where they've been torn down mentally, how do you help build them back up?
well, it's actually showing them the power they hold within their own selves, to be honest with you. Because it's not me doing the work, it's you doing the work. I just give you the blueprint. And it's up to you to go through with it, because I'm doing this on a daily basis. Healing is daily. You know what I'm saying? You don't just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm healed. And then you have to even be compassionate enough to know even your healer is healing. You know what I'm saying? Don't be there to just tear your healer down, or not saying your healer, the person that's trying to help guide you, that's being used by the divine to help you. You see what I'm saying? Don't try to tear them down. Try to understand them. You know what I'm saying? And do your best of whatever, because everybody's healing is different. Some people healing take longer than others in certain areas, because once that area is healed, you go to the next area. I'm gonna just put it like this: every wound is different. When you scar your knee, that's different from you breaking your arm. Some people
Right,
don't break
right,
their back for people. You know what I'm
right,
saying? And then once you put that band-aid, you clean it up. Once you put that band-aid on it, it still ain't healed yet. It still got a couple
right,
more, you know what I'm saying?
right.
It couple more things you gotta do. So, and that's just even in your healing process internally. You gotta just take the right steps. Um, just identifying the certain chakras that you're dealing with, and even on a daily basis, how you're dealing with these chakras. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, healing is an everyday thing. So just being able to identify certain things is basically very important.
And even along with that, I'll say never. I tell people never underestimate. I don't like really watch TV unless I'm like at somebody's house or at an event or somewhere that TV is on. But I don't Like right now, I don't own a TV. Um, reason being, I choose what I consume instead of letting the programmers tell me what to take in based on whatever channel they program. I get to go in and find what I want to see. That being
Mhm.
said, when I was and still on the process of building myself up, you're able to use tools like Google and YouTube to start seeking out, if it's nothing else, motivation, things to
Mhm.
start rebuilding your belief in yourself. Just
Mhm.
like you have to feed yourself every day, you have to take a bath every day. You have to feed yourself good thoughts every day, even if they're not your own. You still need to be fed them until you are able to start recognizing when those bad thoughts come in and can bring those good thoughts back up. You know,
Mhm.
so use, like I say, use the tools that you have.
That's
You,
exactly. That's
but
basically. That's basically what my program basically teaches you how to. I mean, how to actually even harness that. And yes, you always like. I think we've been saying this whole segment. This world is actually built up off of symbols. So, like we said, whether you get the messages or not, it's still there. It's just being able to identify what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and actually handle it accordingly and not do it based off of feelings and emotion, you know, because a lot of time when we act off of emotions, it's not healthy. The outcome anyway, the outcome ain't healthy for us. And hell, sometimes when we do it, we still ain't being healthy. We being ratchet as hell, probably. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Making ourselves look bad. Now, I done seen some crazy shit out here. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be like, damn, women really do that? Niggas really do that? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, this is a big ass world, and stop thinking that everybody thinks just like you think. That's the number one fuck up right there. Thinking that everybody have the same perception that you have. It's not
right,
true.
right. That's very very true. That's why you have to expand your mental palette. Um,
Hmm.
the retreats you have coming up, is that a part of what is that?
The retreats that I have coming up, it's a big, deep part of healing. A lot of times we invest in illusions instead of investing in our own experiences, and just being able to heal with a group of people is a great experience. And seeing other people's perceptions, because I'm definitely going to have different couple retreats, and also singles. I've been doing some planning behind the scenes. So
Okay,
yes, the retreats, they'll be in different locations. We'll be able to have like different activities that we can do as grown folk and still enjoy ourselves, you know what I'm saying, and heal with other people. We not doing it toxic. We just get a chance to actually indulge in learning more about ourselves and about other people that's possibly going through the same thing, but possibly in a different way. So that actually helps us grow. Sometimes we can meet people that have already been through situations, and it's a beautiful experience to be able to connect basically with the healing retreats.
right.
And yeah.
And this is what I was going to say. It nothing too major, but it is major. Um, that it's okay to take time to heal, as much time as needed.
Hmm.
I think we don't let that lonely feeling make you think that it's time to get back in the game. It may not be. Okay, when a person, going back to, okay, a person breaks a bone or whatever, the desire to, if you, okay, say you break it playing a sport, the desire to play that sport's still there. It doesn't mean it's time to get back in the game.
Yeah.
You still gonna wish you could jump from the free throw line. Doesn't mean it's
Hmm.
time to get back in the game. Even when you feel like it's okay today, you might feel okay this day. Still doesn't mean it's time to get back in the game. It's okay to take time until you've covered all the areas. Because going back to something you mentioned in the last episode, that it might have been the one before, that sometime a person can focus on healing one of the chakras, or just one area of their trauma, not
Hmm.
realizing they all connected. You have to work on each area.
Hmm.
So just because you worked
Absolutely.
on your anger management, you still bad with money. Like, why
Yeah.
not work on all of it? Why not get everything, get
Hmm.
all the way back on your square before you step back out there?
Yeah.
It's
And
okay
it's
for
all
you to,
about.
and I'm gonna let you finish. I say that speaking to myself first because I delayed that process even along my journey. You know, when you could
Hmm.
just take the time out to get it done and then get back out there. Go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah. Damn. What was I about to say? Hold on, because I was about to say. I forgot what I was about to say. I'm not even gonna lie.
No, it's all good. I know I was talking about taking the time to heal, and it's okay to do that. Getting back in the game. Uh,
Yeah. So it's all about just taking your time and not listening too much to the outside world. It's really about coming back within. You know what I'm saying? And then even being able to connect with other people that can help you along your way. Not just me, because it's some people that I've met, that I've also learned just from their perspective, just how other people may think, to be more compassionate. You know what I mean? And not so I guess demanding or seeming to feel like I need to control something. You know what I'm saying? And we have to be able to look at other people's perception in order to be able to grow and that expand our perception. Not saying that we have to believe what they believe. It's just being able to be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Now I can see why such and such and such. You know what I'm saying? It's always a message in something, you know, it's always a message around you. And the best part is being able to find that message within yourself. And just healing with me amplifies your what amplifies your gifts and stuff of that nature. It helps you amplify it. I just show you different ways that you can amplify different gifts within your inner being, because we are all intergalactic. We are source. So when we box ourselves into let's see, a title or ideal of whatever somebody else wants us to be, then we wind up killing off who we really are. And I believe Jim Carrey said something like this. Jim Carrey said that you could be two people. He put it in a certain way. I'm not Jim Carrey, but I'm gonna basically break it down kind of like how he broke it down. He said you can create somebody, but you were born in this world somebody, but you can create somebody too. Now you could kill off who you really are just to live out the idea of what you created. But then is that who are you still really staying being true to yourself?
that, that
That's the
that
same way
goes
of
to
saying
those.
that you can't serve two gods because you're gonna make one jealous because you know what I'm saying? You being fake to the other.
You got to pick a
So how you
side.
real?
Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
got to pick a side. It ties into wearing those masks. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times you meet people and we can be tricked because people are put on a good front, or like you say, that other person they've created will stand out to the public and to everybody else, and you think, oh, that's such an amazing person. But behind the scenes, you meet that other person.
Mm-hmm.
That person that really is torn up and damaged and toxic.
Mm-hmm.
But because they've created this avatar or this, what's it, alter ego or whatever it is
Mm-hmm.
to present to the world, you get caught up in that, and next thing you know, you've missed all the red flags because of this pretty picture, and now you're on the recovering side of it now. You know, um, I hope that those that are tuning in, that are gathering something from this, because it's going to be hard to try to capture it all in one setting. But knowing the numbers, like you say, 1 in 3 women, 1 in 4 men go through some form of domestic abuse. So that means the
Yeah.
numbers are pretty high. So what we're talking about is relative to a lot of people, unfortunately, to a lot of people. And hopefully today we're able to highlight some things or bring back some things to your thoughts that let you know that, hey, I'm either in an abusive relationship or able to spot situations that you were in so that you can begin to do the work to heal from it.
Mm-hmm. Suffering in silence is never good. Actually being able to talk to people and actually release, like I was saying, is definitely a big part of that. I don't know why I'm, re-saying this, but it apparently needs to be resaid, because a lot of people do that because they're ashamed. How could this person that I'm sitting here on Facebook being ride or die with, what I'm saying, do this to me? What I'm saying? You'll never know who could relate to you and help you out, help you just get out of that situation. Sometimes people don't necessarily want to get out because it's like they want their family. You know what I'm saying? And ask yourself, is that what you want to your family to bring in certain relationships like that? Like, then your daughter gonna wind up in that same relationship because she's seeing you in that relationship. But look, to each his own. I'm not here to tell people what they're supposed to be doing or whatever the case may be. I just know that that's just domestic violence. If you can't express what you've been through with your new partner and they help you build from that, instead they try to play off that on some ego trip type shit, that should show you what type of person you're dealing with.
And
That's
you
a
don't
red
have to
flag right
stay in
there.
there. And you don't have to stay in an abusive situation.
You
I
don't.
don't
It's so
care
much
what anybody says. You
love
don't have
out
to.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much different people out here. Don't get wrapped up. Don't get trapped. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Don't let family, friends, or anyone try to guilt you into staying in a situation that, because at the end of the day, you have to live with that. Like the people that's trying to tell you to stay in a situation, they don't have to lay their
mm-hmm,
head in the same bed as the person that may be tearing them down physically or emotionally.
mm-hmm.
Only you can make that choice. And whatever choice you make, it's the right choice because you know what? Even if you choose to stay, that was your choice.
Yep.
So it was ultimately the right choice. So even if you walk away and everybody disagrees, it's still the right choice because it was yours, you know. And it's okay to
Mm-hmm.
walk away from a abusive situation.
It definitely is. It definitely is. Sometimes I feel like I said before, sometimes I feel like we get that sense that we feel alone. I think don't nobody want to feel like that they're alone. And a lot of times that's what keep people in these unhealthy relationships, is because they don't want to feel alone. And in all actuality, it takes tough skin to actually be able to know that you're not alone, whether it's with this person or, what I'm saying, you got to go out in the park and meet people. Because I think people just, it's the trust, man. I feel like it's the trust. It's really trust. People, like I said, people, it's hard to just find somebody that you can trust. As soon as you find somebody, that person that you can trust, then you'll never know what happened. And it's better to be able to, um like I said, get you a reader. Readers, we not all of them. Some of them just practicing, y'all. Y'all gotta be careful because some of them be trying to project. I remember one of them tried to project on me. I was like, nope, you're gonna have to sharpen your skills up. That ain't me, that's you. Okay. I'm like, I know who I am. Okay, yeah. That's you that who don't know who you are. So check yourself before you wreck yourself. So make sure that you get the right person to talk to. Yeah, because a lot of people, they want to see you doing good but not better than them. That's the thing. They want to
Mm.
see you doing good but not better than them. And some people, they don't even know. Some people, it's sad because they really think that they helping you or they helping another person, but they really projecting. You'll never know. So that's why it's always good to be able to tap into that inner healing, that inner confidence again, that inner trust within your inner being. And I can honestly say it's been actually helping me trust myself more. I don't give a fuck what somebody can tell me. I can spot some bullshit a mile away. This is why because I know that I bring to the table, nigga. I am the table, the house, the motherfucking insurance. I'm all that. Okay, so so I'm like, nah, like once you find that peace within your inner being, it's like very short bullshit that you're gonna put up with. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like we are grown, and the worst part about it is you trying to insult my intelligence. It's the audacity for me, for real.
Yeah, look, I feel you, and I don't know. I guess at my age, I don't even. I guess when you've been through enough, and or it might just be at the stage I'm at. All I care about is getting some money right now. So even with that, okay, and I'll put it even more clear. I'm about purpose now. Once you find purpose,
Mm-hmm.
it's easier for you to spot what you don't want attached to that.
Yeah.
So once you know, okay, the lane you're in and the path that you're going on, and it's more defined, it's easier for you to spot something that's going to take you off of that.
Yeah.
So it still comes back to it's a saying that says, "Man, know thyself."
Mm-hmm.
Getting healed, getting to know you, like you say,
Mm-hmm.
that inner being, not based on what your abuser told you or even family, friends, or whoever it may be, based on that inner strength, that inner knowing.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. And that's knowing that you're never alone. Even Michael Jackson said it. You are not alone. Whether he is the I that is here with you, or whether it is the I of Horus or Hebrew or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that is to you, you are never alone. And when in a lot of people, um, in my retreats, a lot of people, they've been asking me how to do shrooms, whatever, and they want to know how to do it safely with certain people. It'll show you shrooms if you take it correctly, which I show people how to go into it correctly or whatever. Not saying that you have to go into it like this all the time, but it's a certain way that some people, they have bad trips. I done seen people that never came back from trips that was bad, and whole life then really went down the drain type stuff. So, and some people think that shrooms is just supposed to heal everything. It actually supposed to bring you back to a higher level of perception. And it's up to you whether you're gonna heal from whatever or learn from whatever you've seen or not. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people abuse, shrooms and stuff of that nature. So the healing retreats, um, they're there for those who need them or want them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm there to help guide as well within that, if you wanted to, participate in that area of activity. But yeah,
Hey, well,
some
look,
people
how do they, is it like open for people to sign up for and pay for, or is it a certain group? How do they access that?
well, I haven't even put it out there yet, so it's crazy that you asked me. I
Oh,
just
okay.
been planning behind the scenes, and only certain people really know about it. But it's just know that it's on the way, y'all. Um, because I mean, and it's crazy because a lot of guys feel like there's nobody that's just trying to heal, so that basically gives them no motivation. But it's crazy because I meet a lot of people out here that really want to heal on both angles, whether it's they participate in LGBT or they're heterosexual. It doesn't matter. Everybody, like, it's healing is about to be a big wave because it's about everybody's dying. It's too many deaths. They hitting people where it hurts, especially even in the industry. You know what I'm saying? So people are starting to learn more, you know. So yeah,
Okay.
I feel
Okay.
like when I put that no when I put that
Okay.
button, it just takes a while to, I guess you could say, perfect that area, because I don't want it to be, I want it to be everything. And I know I've been looking up certain things. Like, I know that one of my retreats will be at a naked beach, for those who want to participate with that, because a lot of times we go to these beaches and stuff, and it's something skinny dipping does, which is that solar healing. And when you heal certain parts of your body that you go to the beach and you cover up, like the nipples is a part, as far as women, is a part of good solar healing energy. Even your private parts is a good part of the solar healing energy. So it's all about really being comfortable with that and actually being with a group of people that you can feel comfortable. Not saying that we're gonna have orgies or nothing like that, because I know I'm the love doctor and everything, but I don't get down like that, okay? I know about stuff like that, but I don't get down like that. So with that being said, yeah, it's just a retreat that I know some women were interested in doing with me, that I've been planning behind the scenes. And I got a little, some more things coming. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, like I said, there's no way we're going to be able to tap into everything in one episode. But I think we did give them I hope we gave you all a good, at least a good portion of, some things to look for and some experiences that hopefully will help somebody.
Yeah, give us some
Uh,
questions, y'all. Don't be
yeah.
scared. Got
Yeah.
some
Look in the
comments.
comments along with the likes and stuff. Comment, say you liked it, whether you say what you think we could do better. Like, we're open to questions and concerns and things of that nature. Don't just watch it and not engage. We're here to engage with you all. We're not
Yeah,
just
it's so
here to,
many people.
we're not in the zoo where you just walk by and observe. No, we want to interact and engage with you all. So join the
Yeah,
conversation. Go ahead.
it's so many people that experience domestic violence. Like I said, don't suffer in silence. If your first part of way of speaking up is commenting, you know what I'm saying? We don't necessarily know who you is. You know what I'm saying? This is just a way that you can ask us questions, because I've had more than the experiences that I told you guys about. Like I said, Brother Ed already was like, you can't skip past that. Yeah, like that's something serious. This is why I wanted to actually become an advocate for domestic violence, because it can get to the point where somebody could wind up hurt really, really bad in both ways, because nobody wants to necessarily off they better half or either play a part of that, because for real, the hospital really killed him. But we not even gonna go that far. Okay. But either way it goes, I still was a part of the situation. And that's not something that I'm necessarily proud about. You know what I mean? Especially because if you love somebody, like, come on now, when you really love somebody, you do not really want to hurt them. And a lot of the women, they get their ass beat because they don't want to hurt their man. And because once a woman really take off, she gonna take what? She gonna burn everything. Okay, she gonna woman bow out loose. She gonna let it burn. She gonna blow the whole motherfucking TLC up. Okay, she gonna look. Okay, so it's not necessarily saying who can be who at this time. You know what I'm saying? It's just recognizing, like, hey, I need to exit this before it gets to XYZ, because having a felony on my record, it's been hard. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm not gonna say hard. It's been challenging just to find people be wanting to hire me so bad. I got a job and all that stuff. I work for myself as well. But it's just some good jobs. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to do that to yourself, because at one point I could get any job, trust me, any job that I wanted. But as soon as I got that on my record, that's when the challenges started coming in. But that's when I took time and I actually learned from it, and I started investing in myself. So don't let that have to be a reason why you decide to invest in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Start investing in yourself before it has to get that bad. You don't want to have to deal with stuff like that, because for real, the system railroaded me, and you don't want to have to be in that type of situation where they're gonna try to railroad you and do this, that, and the third, and threaten to take your kids and all that stuff. Like, y'all got so much, it's so much out here that it took me to have to go through that to find out, like, I want to travel. This is why I open up the healing retreats for the other people that want to travel and heal, because with healing and traveling, like, traveling will bring healing, because you'll wind up learning. You know what I'm saying? You can go anywhere and learn. Like, when I went to Costa Rica, I was learning. You know what I'm saying? And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful experience. So don't ever pass on the experience to actually invest in yourself. And time, I wanted to give up, but I still kept pushing. And some people, they can't. After that, you know what I'm saying? Some people, they can't. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, well, look, shout out your website so they can be looking out for any upcoming information, or they can already purchase services and things of that nature that's already on your site. What's your site?
My website is moexsantiago.com, MOEX Santiago, Santiaga, not O, .com. So moexsantiago.com. The link will be below, you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for all these upcoming interviews. And you guys, drop them questions because we ready to answer any questions that y'all may have if we have the answer to it. If not, we can find somebody that got the answer. You hear me? We can open up a call line if y'all want to, so we can get some questions really rolling in. So just let us know.
Like she said, hit that subscribe button, y'all. Go ahead. What you got?
And being that you said that, you know, there is places, you guys, because I know some people, they stay in domestic violence places because they don't necessarily have nowhere to go. There are places, they do have places that help people, like domestic violence shelters and stuff like that. They help people as far as just get back on your feet. It's all in whether you want to take that step. Some people know about that step and they abuse it. You know what I'm saying? They really the abuser, but they be up in there and they be using it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So if you really going through it or whatever, and you feel like you really want to get out, I believe it's like a 211 number that you could call. And
yeah, if you have it, get it to me and I'll put it in the description.
I will. I'm gonna definitely double check that one. But you can move anywhere in the world and, you know, not be seen or known, like from the person who probably been following you, stalking you, being possessive over you or whatever. But it's definitely help out here. So you guys just tap in, and I'm gonna leave you the info if I can find it.
Okay. Well, listen up, y'all. Look, it's been another good episode. We covered some really good things. Like I said, it wasn't as light-hearted. It was a little more deep this time, but we felt it was needed. And we might revisit this again at some point if we need to, because it's levels to this. But we want you to heal through it all. We want you to heal through everything you've been through. So, look, like she said, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share, and we're gonna get back with y'all next time.
Yep.
Peace.
Yeah.
Yep.